At first glance, the first Descendant may appear to be just another Destiny clone, but this actually isn't true. They also copied a ton of stuff from Warframe. But despite this, the game has a ton of players, and you may be wondering, should I play it? And also, could this game possibly replace one of the games that it copied from? Well, lucky for you, I have all the answers you need. We're going to go through my experience playing the game, and then I'm going to talk about my thoughts, my feelings, the good, the bad, everything I think you need to know. And once we're done, I'll give you my definitive conclusion on whether or not you should play this game, and also whether or not this game will become the new king of whatever genre these games fit in. I guess like looter, shooter, MMOs, but I don't know if they're really massively multiplayer, because like, yeah, other people are there, but you don't really interact with them that much. Whatever genre it is. And of course, any conclusions I do come to and anything I say in this video are 100% objective fact, and if you disagree with me, you are wrong. But with all that out of the way, like, subscribe, and let's talk about the first Descendant. To start with, we get a nice little cinematic explaining that humanity were attacked by a bunch of bad guys from another dimension and were honestly kind of screwed. And then a bunch of kaiju from another dimension also started attacking and humanity were even more screwed. And then finally the Descendants appeared, Descendants being the characters the players get to play, and humanity might have a chance to unscrew everything. For your starting character, you get to pick between 3 genders, female, male, and the utter annihilation of all who dare stand in your path. I chose Viessa because I'm not immune to propaganda, of course, being when a British person takes a good look at something, and I definitely did that. With that, you start your intro/tutorial. You go on a mission with Bunny, who's the best character in the game, to retrieve the Iron Heart, which is a super important ancient artifact that can do pretty much whatever the plot needs it to. We find the Iron Heart, touch it, get transported to another dimension which I think looks sick as and have a lovely conversation with the voices inside our head. We get ambushed by a bunch of bad guys and try to escape, eventually running into the big bad guy, Corral. He absolutely diffs us, like it's not even close. Bunny's basically dead. Then he takes the Iron Heart and leaves before killing us because the plot does technically need to happen. Big kaiju shows up, we kill it, we return to Albion, which is humanity's home base. After 2 straight minutes of loading, we talk again to the voice inside our head, also known as the guide, and then go talk to Alpha, who's the leader of, I think, all of humanity, or at least all the Descendants. Honestly, not sure. We're told to go to Kingston because there's an ancestor facility there that can help the guide locate the Iron Heart. The guide's hot now, and it turns out that everything here absolutely sucks, so we gotta do a bunch of missions to make it suck slightly less. The first Descendant copied another thing from Warframe here by making all of the missions really, really boring. Or maybe they copied this from Destiny. I wouldn't know, I didn't really play much Destiny. Every mission is some variation of either kill X or defend Y, and I could go into more detail about the missions, but neither of us want that, so I won't. I did 4 missions in the area, and in the process of doing so, I also had a look at the gear system. The gear system is a 1-to-1 copy of Destiny's, except you can put modules on your Descendant and your weapons. The module system is a 1-to-1 copy of Warframe. And when I say 1-to-1, I really do mean it. This isn't a yoink and twist like with Power Worlds, where they at least put guns in the game. The guns were already in both of the games, and they did not change anything. We talk to Bunny, who continues to be best girl, and also apparently has access to the Speed Force. 2 more missions, and then we go into our first dungeon. The dungeon is also kill X, defend Y. Finish the dungeon, we didn't get the data we're looking for, so Alpha's mad, we go to a new part of Kingston. 3 more missions, talk to best girl, do another dungeon. This dungeon did have the data we were looking for, and the final boss was called Greg. Return to Albion, talk to some people, and then we get to do our first raid. Their official name is Void Intercept Battles. I'm just going to call them raids. You kill a big monster. These raids are the endgame content. They give you a lot of the parts that you'll need to make new Descendants, and in this specific case, it's going to give us what we need to make Bunny. We kill the same crab for the very beginning, except this time it's stronger, get the ingredients, and we start making Bunny. It's at this point where we run into another thing that the first Descendant copied from Warframe, a ton of microtransactions. They copied the mobile game crafting times, where they also copied all the pay to win, pay for convenience, pay for cosmetics, and pay for everything outside of your parents actually being proud of you. But lucky for me, Bunny's only got a minute-long crafting time because she's given to you by the story, and so we have my favorite character. And I want it on the record that Bunny is not my favorite character just because she's a mask-wearing hyperactive weirdo with animal ears. It's also because she's fast. Alpha tells us that we can find Iron Heart traces in the sterile lands, and while I am wondering why the Iron Heart was in your bedroom, good soldiers follow orders, so we go. In the new area, we meet Sharon and Jeremy. Sharon's a stealth assassin, and Jeremy's mad that the guide won't talk to him. He's also just generally We're told that Sharon needs a distraction so she can search for the exact location, and you know what that means. 4 more missions. Talk to Sharon's assistant, apparently she's in danger. 3 more missions, Sharon is saved. Talk to Sharon again, 4 more missions. Talk to Jeremy, he's still mad that the guy won't talk to him, and he teleports away. We do another dungeon. My DPS isn't high enough to beat the final boss, so I do it again in a party. easy win. We get a cutscene showing Corel and Amon, who I think is their science guy, turning some of their soldiers into super soldiers. It was around this time where I stopped streaming a lot of the filler content, so I no longer have an accurate count of how many missions there were. Sorry, more missions, another dungeon. We kill one of the super soldiers that Corel just made, and then we get a cutscene of Corel inverting the Iron Heart. No, I don't know what this means. We get back to Albion, talk to a bunch of people, Jeremy's still mad, the guide's now glitching out, we do a raid. This time, the big monster's a giant woman, we kill her, this somehow fixes the guide, we talk to Freyna, who's basically Viper from Valorant, we go to a new area. Talk to Glay, who's another Descendant, we do some missions. New area, Glay tells us about a tragic backstory, new missions. New area, we gotta make a poison antidote, new missions. Talk to the doctor, we're now immune to poison, do a dungeon. New area, new missions, do a raid. New area, new missions, do a dungeon. Jeremy's evil. New area, new missions, new area, new missions, and stop. You might notice I was giving less and less detail on the story, less and less detail on the missions, and just less and less detail on the game I was playing. And that's because I don't remember it. Every mission, every dungeon, every moment of the game was just blending together more and more, and I started to wonder, why am I playing the game? So I looked it up. What happens when I reach the end? What happens at Endgame? More of the same. When you hit level 40 on a character, you can reset their level back down to 1, and in exchange you get to add a type to one of your mod slots, and you can optimize your build better. So this game doesn't really have an end game. It's just more grinding. Another thing they stole from Warframe, I guess. But unfortunately for the first Descendant, there is a cost to taking all of these things from other games, and it's that every time someone plays your game, they're going to be thinking of Destiny and Warframe. And honestly, it might have been fine if you had just stolen from Destiny, because there's actually an empty space there. There are probably people who want to play Destiny, but don't want to spend a bunch of money on all of the DLCs required to make the game fun. But instead of just competing with Destiny, you've put yourself against Warframe to compete for which game can be the best free-to-play, overly monetized, overly grindy pile of garbage. The big issue there is Warframe has better gameplay and better story. Admittedly, the gameplay is literally only use of menial grinding, and the story is broken up by long periods of menial grinding, but the first Descendant also suffers from these issues, so you still lose. I genuinely have so much hatred for Warframe, probably enough to make its own video, and hey, if you want that, let me know. But I don't understand why someone will play the first Descendant when a better game is right there. So, should you play the first Descendant, and will it overtake Warframe and Destiny? No! Did you even watch the video? The game isn't awful, it just doesn't give you a reason to play it. And the only reason I was playing it for as long as I did was because it doesn't really give you a reason to stop either. Playing the first Descendant is an aggressively mediocre experience. And the only reason I could see someone really wanting to play the game is because the characters are hot. And to be honest, maybe that's enough to keep the game alive. I don't know, Genshin still exists purely because people are horny. I mean, the thumbnail for this video is probably going to be one of the attractive characters in a horny outfit, and that is because it works. Okay, and that's the end of the video. Like, subscribe, there's a bell that does something, I'm still not sure what. The editing at the end totally wasn't rushed because I was running out of time. There isn't going to be a video next week. I apologize, I'm really busy. But for now, that's all folks. Tune in next week.